So I want to say good afternoon again to every one of us, and I want to appreciate our coming. This particular series of facilitations started last week, Friday, when I have just a handful of you in the class. But our attendance is actually appreciating. Hopefully that we will keep on increasing the class, because I am expecting nothing less than over 2,000 candidates or students in this class. So please, I want us to keep on coming. I want us to keep on actually doing the needful. This is actually a discussion class. And for those of us that were around last week, I told you that our focus of discussion today is going to be Module 1 of our course material. And I did mention that we need to go and read it, and therefore we come to the classroom today for general discussion. My job as your facilitator is very, very simple. My job is just to be looking at you, telling me your problem, your challenges in this particular area of focus that we are having today. It behoves on you to have read through those places before you come to the class. And by the time you are in the class now, anywhere you need clarification, you can raise the issues. And therefore, every member of the class will participate and clarify the issues with you. It is only when you cannot agree among yourselves that are we coming to weave whatever be our contributions in the class. So it is not really a class of lecturing where we just come and say, yeah, let me be lecturing you. It should be a student or learner-centered discussion. So Module 1, just as a form of introduction, Module 1 is on introduction to open and distance learning. And in this particular module, you have 3 units. And Unit 1 is actually focusing on history of open and distance learning. You need to know what are the foundational issues to open and distance learning procedures as a mode of getting ourselves into higher education or any level of education that we have chosen. Then under our Unit 2, we are looking at characteristics of open and distance learning. What are those things that are really unique to open and distance learning? And therefore, these things that are really, please let me warn you again. If you talk, I will remove you. I've removed 2 already. If you talk, I will remove you when you are not asked to talk. And I won't tell you this again. Just find out that you cannot be in the class again. So, what are those features that you will see? And therefore, these features will point to the fact that you are really undergoing open and distance learning. Then, and Unit 3 is on teaching and learning in ODL. Teaching and learning in ODL. So it is very important for us to know all these particular things so that we'll be able to know what to do and actually how to approach our studies as open and distance learning students. So where are we going to start? Our job is very simple. So if you have any problem, if you have any question, these 3 areas of Module 1, without sharing your screen, Agnes, don't share your screen. So you need to raise it. Agnes, unshare your screen. Alphonsus, If I share it with you, you are leaving the class. So, who is actually bearing the cat? Yes, I can see some electronic hands on. Let me start from a lady is always they say is first. Okay, wherefore, can you unmute yourself? And therefore, what do you have to say?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Initially, when we started, we were not seeing anything on the screen. So I thought as you are talking, you'll be sharing some things for us to follow up with what we are saying. So we're not seeing it initially, and I didn't know how to communicate that to you since we unmuted ourselves. So that was why I was raising my hand.
Thank you. I am not here to share any screen with you. I've told you how this class will go. I'm not here to lecture you. What you will do later, I will post the instructional video on the course page. So you will now go to that particular course page. You can now watch my instructional video.
Where exactly, sir?
So on the course page, on your course
the e-learning platform.
Yes, on the e-learning platform. Thank you very much.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
So put down your hands.
Okay.
Agnes, Alphonsus, please remove your screen. Okay, Mr. Anthony, I can see your hand. Anthony.
Thank you, sir. Actually, yes, are you hearing me, sir? Yes,
you are breaking.
Sir.
You are breaking.
Are you hearing me, sir? Hello, sir.
Breaking.
Hello, sir.
Hello, I'm hearing you.
Yes, sir. She has already raised my concern, sir. The last speaker.
Okay, thank you. Put down your hands, please.
Okay, sir.
Mr. Tuko Muhammad. Mr. Muhammad Tuko, you are raising your hand. Okay, Mr. Olusegun Samuel Idowu.
Don't worry about it. Okay. Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good day.
Well done, sir. Sir, my only amount of question is kind of clarification.
Okay.
In the first module, in the history of open and distance, in the history of open and distance learning, there are 3 categories of level of development stage.
Okay.
But somebody is talking on the ground. But in the manual, we were also told that some people classify them as 5 stages. Since we are concerned in this program with 3 stages, can we also know the other 2 stages, or they are not necessary for us to know? Sir, can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you very well.
Okay, my question is, in the history of open and distance learning, the developmental stages is categorized to 3 according to the manual. Well, it was also said that some people classify them into 5 stages. Can we know the other 2 stages of development in open and distance learning?
Thank you. I will start from you, Mr. Idowu. Let me start from what you know. What are the 3 stages of the development of open and distance learning that you know?
Correspondence stages, correspondence stage, then sound and signal stage, then computer technology stage.
Can you tell us what each of them are?
The correspondence stage is when learn is done. The student and the facilitator are being separated by distance and time, but the facilitator they use mail to send their teachings to their students all over the world or wherever they stay there. They use email. Then the second one, the sound and signal stage. The foundation was laid when they used radio to pass information across to the students. Can I continue, sir?
Continue, we are enjoying you.
All right. Then the third stage, this is the stage we are now, the technology and computer stage, where the internet is being used and the work is being made easier now.
Thank you very much.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Sir. Yes.
Hello.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I'm following up.
Okay. I said the third stage is a computer and technology stage, where the internet is used for dissemination of information.
All right. Mr. Idowu, thank you very much for your contribution.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Idowu has told us that when you are discussing something about the historical background of open and distance learning, there is argument on the fact that there is what we call the correspondence stage, there's what we call the signal and sound stage, and there is also a computer technology stage. And he has rightly told us what each of the stages actually culminates and the elements that you can see in each of those stages that will tell you that, yes, this is actually a form of learning or mode of learning. In the correspondence, you find out that in those days, when people, especially the third world population, did not have the means of traveling out of their various countries to get academic or engage in academic endeavors, what do they do? The only thing that they do is to resort to registering for any academic program outside their immediate country or domain. And therefore, at this particular time, what happened? The only thing that happened is that the materials of those academic programs are actually sent to the learners by post, by shipment, and by any means by which that particular the hard copies of the materials will get to the students. So it's true by posting, sort of, and it's still a form of distance learning, because the learners at this time did not really see their facilitator or their lecturer. They only have the material to read, and therefore they do their assignments and send to their lecturers, and also even write exams without necessarily visiting the host institution or institute where they are undertaking the academic endeavors. So that is correspondence. Then we are talking about sound. That after this particular correspondence, there is development that makes distance learning to be involved in sound from some electronic gadgets, and therefore where the lecturer delivers their lectures, the teacher delivers his or her lecture through that particular electronic means. And the most popular one which Mr. Idowu mentioned is radio. I can remember in those days in my village where there is only one radio in the whole of the village. We know when it is evening time, all of us will run to the house of that particular man, because the western state of that particular time mounted the radio in somebody's house, in front of somebody's house, and that is the only one. And it was wire from Ibadan that carried that particular transmission to all villages in Western region at that particular time. So we go there to listen and we go there to learn. And also we can package our academic programs with a view to delivering them through such sound gadgets. And with that, we have it. Then the same also include video. It can be audio visual, in which you can hear the sound nowadays. Instead of only the radio, you can also watch televisions. And there are some lectures that are delivered through television. So this is also an aspect of sound and signal stage. But as the developments advance, now come to what we call the computer technology age. And this computer technology age is now graduating to so many other areas today, wherein computer is the one that is really powering the issue of distance education or distance learning today. So those are the three key stages. Mr. Idowu is saying that there are 5 stages. All other stages that may emanate is the breaking down of the computer stage technology. Since the advent of computing, you found out that it is actually evolving. And at the same time, there was even a time what you can use computer to do is word processing. And therefore, all the learning materials are used, we use computer to type them. And through that, we make them available. At a point, we also have some software that engages us to be able to present the material, not just word processing alone. You can now have your PowerPoints to engage you in both getting the content typed and also delivering the content. And you can even video yourself from that. So, and you also look at other stages of computer development involvement in distance learning. When now, as we are now talking, this is another way of learning. And this one is what we call synchronous engagement of students in imparting knowledge and giving the form of instruction. And it is synchronous because it is real time, wherein you see me, I see you, and all of us, we are interacting together at the same time. And I have 259 now in this particular class. And all of us are dispersed in various places in Nigeria, even abroad. So as many that are ready to get, to be with us in the class. So, the 3 key stages at this particular stage of correspondence, this particular stage of signal and sound, and the stage of computing. So all other 2 stages that we are talking about are actually embedded under computer technology advancement. Thank you very much, Mr. Idowu, for that. Thank you very much.
Sir. Thank you, sir.
Bimbo Shakirat.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Yes, sir. Thank you for that explanation, sir. Because when I was also going through it, I was like, I would have loved to know the other 2 stages. Mine is on the information you gave us the last time we met last week. You said you were going to post something on the e-learning.
This is not a time for general question, please. Your question now must focus on module 1.
Okay.
1, unit 2,
all right,
unit
so
3.
I'll
Before we round up, there will be a
question,
room for general discussion. Thank you.
All right.
Yes, any other one? Okay, Nwosu, Ibeayi, or Nwosu, can you unmute yourself?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
How are you, Ife?
Fine, sir. Ife, you are also.
Thank you.
So, sir, I just want to comment on the importance of open and distance learning institution in Nigeria today. I want to comment that we are more privileged now to further our education. As one of the points that we have limited capacity of the conventional university admitting students. So most of us have the problem getting admission. And more especially, we that are workers, according to point 2, that said continuous demand for higher education by employers and the levels for promotion and assessment of the purposes. Some of us are working, and some of us even tried to get admission with the conventional universities. But looking at the time for their classes, they cannot meet up. And we found this as a very good opportunity for us to study and further our education. In my comments, I want to appreciate the management of National Open University of Nigeria, bringing up even the video, this Zoom meeting, that some of us are now opportune to even see our resource people. When I joined you, I was just thinking, how will I go about this? People were encouraging me, but I'm happy today.
Thank you very much, Yvette, for that beautiful comment. So we are still developing. We are not yet getting there. We are still experimenting. So, but with your cooperation and your feedback,
okay, sir.
I know we'll be able to actually get to where we intend to be. Thank you for that particular comment, please. But by way of leading the discussion and continue the discussion, you are a distance learner.
Yes, sir.
Can you share with me some of the things that are the main characteristics of open and distance learning? What are the uniqueness of open and distance learning?
We have the separation of teachers and the students, just like the one. Just for me, I also did distance learning with Abuja University in my first degree program. So I know what it means,
the school
that
environment.
you can't easily access your lecturer. You are in your workplace, you must study. Then once in blue moon, like in Abuja University, then once in a month, you have your lectures, just weekends, just like that. There you go. And we find out this.
Thank you very much. Inve, let's stop here. Let's hear from another person, please. Let's hear from another person. Plus, I will encourage you as when you want to talk, please, I will want you to put on your video as much as possible. Because
I'm sorry, sir, my video comes up.
Don't worry, I'm not trying to talk. It's okay, it's okay. Please, mute yourself, please.
Okay, sir. Thank
So
you,
I'm only
sir.
making a general comment that anytime you want, as much as possible, if it is possible, I wish you actually make us to see your video as we discuss so that.
Okay, I can still on it, but it turned upside down.
You are disturbing me, please.
Sorry,
You
sir.
have done your own talking. Let me do my own talk. And please mute yourself. So that the recording can actually catch up with your face. Anyway, I know we have so many beautiful and handsome faces here that are hiding under the curtain. No wahala. So now, he has told us some of the characteristics, and he did mention the key uniqueness of open and distance learning is that the students and the learner are actually separated by space, by distance. But he also made mention by appreciating the university that this particular distance and separation were actually bridged, the gap is bridged by the employment of technology. And she did mention that where, she was having a sort of fear as to how will I be able to engage myself in such a medium like this. So we are now tapping on the advantages of technology to ensure that what similar similar look like total separation from you learners, we can now see ourselves. I could imagine somebody who saw me among the 807 of last year, he now came to the headquarters at Jabi here, and he now saw me in the compound, and therefore he just embraced me and said, oh, I said, I didn't know you. Say, ah, I know you. Where did you know me? Oh, you are my facilitator for GST807. So you can just imagine, because no, I've never seen him physically, but seeing ourselves like this, and therefore we'll be able to identify ourselves. So thank you very much for that comment. It is very, very important, and we need to take the advantage so as for us to benefit maximally in the use of that particular technology. Thank you very much. Then what are some of other characteristics of ODL, please?
Okay.
Apart
Good
from
afternoon.
separation.
Good afternoon,
Please,
sir.
if I don't ask you to talk, please don't talk. Raise your electronic hand. Are you getting me? I see people, those that knows that it's part of your training. It's part of your training. If you don't raise your electronic hand, I will not call you. And when you talk without me calling you, I get you out of the class. It's part of the training we are undergoing. Thank you very much for that. I hope I'm not embarrassing you anyway.
No, sir.
Okay. Let me just call the lady has just finished her talk. I think Patrick, are you there? Or Patricia Irabo? Pat. Pat, can you unmute yourself?
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes.
I'm Patricia.
Okay, Patricia, thank you. Though I mean Irabo,
sir.
but since she's not coming, thank you. Patricia, you are talking.
Olowoshile Patricia, sir. I missed
continue.
I missed the lecture, the first lecture. I'm happy to
please, if your question is not on modules 1, please don't talk. Don't raise your hand.
My question is
the last one.
Module 1, sir. My question is on Module 1, sir.
Of
the uniqueness. My comment is on the uniqueness of the ODL.
What makes it unique?
One of the things that make it unique is that you can easily be at work and also be in class. You can easily be in your place of work and also be in class.
Okay.
Like you being in your office.
There is a word. Listen, there is a word that covers what you are saying. There is a term. Anybody in the class to tell us?
Flexibility.
Flexibility. Clap for that person. No, I did not.
Flexibility, yes.
Yes.
Flexibility.
That's it. So the term that you are supposed to use is flexibility. That you can be in your place of work and still be in the class and still read your materials anywhere you are. You may be in the toilet as you are sitting on the water closet, you are still revising yourself, and therefore, by the time you are coming out, you come and do your TMA, but you study in the toilet. That's the duty. And nobody will say, you must come now. You must come to mortar and brick classroom to come and sit down, and therefore I will be pouring and pouring on you. So you are free to choose your place, your time, except with synchronous like this, we have timed you that meet me 3 o'clock. Then the mode that you want to use to study. And therefore, you can use any of the study style that is actually unique to you. You can choose any study style. I can see somebody now, Mr. Usman side. Are you on the bed or you're on the sofa? So, you know, that is a sitting style, one way or the other.
Hello, sir. With due respect and recognition.
Accessibility.
In my
thank you very much.
Accessibility as a characteristics of open and distance learning education, sir.
Thank you very much. Accessibility.
Accessibility is telling you that every person is having access to open and distance learning education, including a prisoner who is being denied of his own liberty right in the prison, but he have access to high level education and even graduating from open university. Many prisoners graduated. The physically challenged people that cannot afford to go to conventional university is now enjoying the usufruct of open and distance learning education.
Thank you very much for that beautiful contribution, accessibility. Mr. Said, that's fine. And making analogy of the disabled and this image is very, very germane in your discussion and recognizing that. And it's the point to emphasize that you are not limited in any way as to how you can have access to higher education. And that is the end thing. So that I've seen somebody who was 75 or 76 who graduated from this university 2 years ago, and he came out with a first class in mathematics. A 72-year-old man, and also came out with a first class. So such a person who must have lost the hope of even getting, and we interviewed him. What really motivated you to actually get to this particular fit where you are? So one, thank God for the opportunity of ODL. That there is no way he must have gone to Big and Mortar Confessional University to get such a certificate where other mates will be messing him up or making jest of him or mocking him, that the grandfather is supposed to go and sit down somewhere, sitting down in the classroom with us. What do you want to do, use the certificate for? So, but because of the open door of open and distance learning, anybody can. Therefore, you can tap into it. Thank you very much. Then there are two other key characteristics of ODL that I want to mention.
Has she gone?
Apart from separation, apart from flexibility, apart from accessibility, there are two others which I want us to mention. Yes.
How much can you do?
Yes, let me call Jocelyn.
Somebody just told me that it's only Baba that is loading. That is
Jocelyn.
All these things, all these things.
Jocelyn, can you unmute yourself and talk?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
One of the characteristics of another characteristic of open and distance is openness. And I actually wanted to ask a question concerning openness as to ideas. I don't really get it.
Can you explain what you know about openness before we go to the openness of ideas?
Okay, for openness, there's openness to people, openness to place, and openness to ideas. For openness to people, it's simply like, in my own understanding, openness to people is opportunity to spend person. No matter who you are, be you a worker, you have the opportunities in the open and distance system.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So when you are talking about openness, when you are discussing openness in ODL, you must make mention of these particular three things: openness to place, people, and openness to ideas. We pardon that person because she's carrying a toddler. She cannot push that one away somewhere. So, when you are talking about openness of to place, you have the right choice to where you want your study to be. Some of us are working in Abuja here. For those of us in Abuja, and your workplace is at Wuse, where you are living at Duse Alaji. Yes, your residence is closer to a study center there, Abuja Model Study Center. But Wuse Study Center is closer to you at Wuse Axis. So you now look at your time. Nobody will force you to say because you are living in Duse Alaji, your study center must be there at Duse Alaji. Or when you are, as you are working at Wuse, your study center must be at Wuse. No, you can choose any place where you are going to be receiving information. That is on one hand. Another hand is that you can choose any place of where you can study, as I mentioned the other time. So nobody is forcing you to be anywhere at any time. You are in the class now. It's not compulsory. Let me tell you this, because I am not marking attendance. Somebody can say, well, when I see my facilitator, I will get some information. But there are some people that say, I don't need my facilitator. I can learn on my own. So I am not going to take any attendance in this class that if you don't come to the class, -5. No. We are only trying to say that all our learners should choose the best place for their learning. So, and therefore, there is no any compulsion, there is no any caveats, there is no any forceful process that will tell you this is how you should learn. So we are only giving you avenues that you can use to learn and to ensure that you are getting the best out of your study. Openness to people is the fact that it is for everybody, whatever be your level, as I said earlier on. It is open to female, to male, to email, to free, to special need, to less special need, to aged, to teenagers, to every form of level. We have seen a lot of our KBACs, a lot of our chiefs, a lot of our EMAs, a lot of our AZs. They are already undertaking courses in now. So, ordinarily speaking, those highly placed people, they will not go to the classroom in Abuja, University of Abuja or University of Nigeria or University of Maiduguri to go and sit down with anybody. But it's because of openness, it's open to everybody. But she said that openness to ideas, she doesn't understand. You know, in open and distance learning, there is this particular exchange of ideas. We are in the classroom now. I am only leading you, I'm prompting you to discussion. Let me tell you, in most cases, there are not really right or wrong answers. So, and nobody in this particular class should shout you down when you are bringing out your own idea. Maybe you are bringing out that particular funny ideas because of your ignorance of some element of concept that you are supposed to know. So I must be able to respect your idea. And it is only in the open and distance learning. If you go to brick and mortar, I'll be in the class that my lecturer will just come to the board and we start. After 15 minutes, he will get out, no question, no answer, no anything. I've pour it now, go and read your book. And that is it. So, but in open and distance learning, it is not actually like that. You can, even among yourself, as distance learner, you have so many technology gadgets now, you can form yourself into groups of your programs that you are running. And therefore, in that particular WhatsApp group, you can be exchanging ideas. It is still open. So you can use these technology gadgets to exchange ideas among yourself. Even with me too, I can put you into a WhatsApp group, and therefore we begin to chat and everything, exchanging ideas. So there is no limitation, and you can only get in open and distance learning. Thank you very much. So that one will take us to Unit 3. Go and read other things, so many other things. But for time, let us just look at this probing question. You are a distance learner. What are those things or characteristics or features or some qualities that you must possess to be a successful distance learner? Yes, Iyola Olabisi. Olabisi Iyola. What are those things? What are the qualities? What are the characteristics that you need to possess to be a successful distance learner? Okay, Bolaji Samsudin. Bolaji Samsudin, answer my question, please. Okay. Maybe they are still thinking, they are still prognosing. Let me see another. Okay. Don't waste my time again. If I call your name, unmute yourself and talk. So because of that, I will come back to you. Tai Mustafa. Mustafa Ibrahim, Tai. Mustafa Ibrahim. If you don't want to talk, please don't raise your hand. If you want to talk, your hand should be up. So if you don't want to talk, don't raise your hand so that when I call you, don't waste my time, please. Because you are not preparing to talk. Okay, let Muhammad Gali.
I think one of the characteristics should include like interactivity and good listening.
I can't hear you well, Mr. Muhammad.
One of the characteristics should include like interactivity, like the room for interacting, like I am doing right now with you, sir, and the ability to be a good listener.
Thank you very much. So he has mentioned two things that to characterize the level of a distance learner. He talked about interactivity and also, what is the second thing that you mentioned?
Good listening.
Good listening, yes. You must be a good listener. Yes, thank you very much. You must listen. Yes. Any other one? Ezekiel. Mr. Ezekiel.
Yes, you must be disciplined and ability to organize yourself and your program, and the ability to keep to the schedule of what you have decided to do. You must have a program for each day and allocate time to each one. Know when your facilitator will come up, and keep everything. Keep that time. And then have a time for your own private study also. And you must develop the skill of being able to address people in the forum like this.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for comportment. Thank you very much. So we have seen from here, discipline is very, very important. Nobody is running after you. Nobody will be running after you. Nobody will ask you to read. Nobody will ask you to do this, but our TMA, our assessment, our examination will prompt you, because you cannot be certificated without passing and doing very well in all the assessments that are there. So it now behoves on you to discipline yourself, self-discipline, very important. You know, somebody also mentioned sideways motivation. You must be a motivated person. There are so many distractions all around, and there are so many things. As a housewife, You need the attention of your husband, or your husband needs your attention, your children need your attention, the relative need your attention, your work needs your attention. So many things. Friends are there. But if you are not really motivated to have that particular both external and internal motivation, the extrinsic and intrinsic motivation within you that comes from you, you will at times, you will actually fall aside. Also, when you look at the problems you engage in, maybe you go to the study center, they did not attend to you the way they should attend to you. And because of that, in this kind of school that I want to go, I don't want anybody to waste my time. Now, then because of just a little challenge from the study center, then you begin to run something that is prompting you to even original sale that makes you to say not for you, empower you to actually continue. And the main mention of time management, very, very important. A distant learner should be an effective time manager. You must be an effective time manager. If you don't manage your time well, there is no way you can actually do it. Oh, I am a salesman in my place of work. I need to travel from Lagos to Port Harcourt, from Port Harcourt to Mina to Abuja. You find out that because of that, you are complaining. You don't have time to work. To read or to study. Nobody will listen to that with you. So you must be an effective time manager. You must be able to manage your time very, very well. Thank you very much. Now, within the next 3 minutes, as a teacher, that is those who that actually teach you, what do you think should be their qualities? What should be their characteristics? What do you expect from them? As a distant learner, as a distant teacher now, who is engaging, as a lecturer, who is engaging you in this particular distant learning? What are your expectations? I just want to hear from you. What do you expect from them? Yes, Faith, Ebenasi, Faith, can you talk? If you are ready for me. What are the characteristics of your teachers as an ODL learner? Yes?
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes?
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Okay. One of the characteristics I expected from my facilitator, just as you are now, is to be an active participant and also have a good, effective communication skill. For you to be able to address your students, effective communication skill actually talks about the facilitator able to communicate effectively with his students, his or her students. So as our facilitator, you should be able to have a good, effective communication skill. And also, just like as you have teach our lectures every Friday, you should be able to meet up with time because your students will be expecting the best from you. So you have to also be an active participant to always be there to tutor your students. Thank you very much, sir.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. I love that, because I also want, as we are assessing you, we also want you to also assess us. Are you getting it? So that is why I want us to, yes, another person, maybe Mr. Otobong. Oh, you have not talked today.
Sir, you've forgotten me. Thank you for the opportunity. And good day to everybody in the class. Side of the first speaker of this program.
We are not hearing you well, please. Can you talk louder?
In the leg from the first speaker, someone who is facilitating this program. One of the characteristics I expect of you is to be open to our choice of communication and also your opinion to solutions because it is expected that facilitators do not know it all. Students can actually give you something that will add to your wealth of knowledge. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. You are just buttressing what has been said before, that we must be open to comments, we must be ready to accommodate you, we must be time conscious, we must have effective communication skill. Lastly, Ona Malachi, are you there to talk? Ona, what are the qualities of an effective teacher in ODL? Okay, we are not hearing you. Sami Abdulmalik. Sami Abdulmalik. Sami Abdulmalik, can you help us? Please, let us hear you, please. Let's hear you.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Please talk. You are greeting how many times now? It's okay, we are not hearing you. Thank you very much. I want Mr. Abel Agu to round up. Mr. Sani Abdulmalik, we are not hearing you, please. Mr. Abel.
Yes, sir. What I expect of a teacher in all is to be a guide to students and not an authority or major source of information to students.
Thank you very much. So, in open and distance learning, you don't really have a teacher. You don't really have a lecturer. You only have an instructor and a facilitator. Are you getting me? No teacher, no lecturer. You only have facilitators and instructors. An instructor gives a guide and helps you to follow that particular guide to achieve your goal. And a facilitator is just to prompt you to be able to learn and to study. But part to come and pour knowledge on you. So in ODL, your facilitator must have that particular sense of knowledge sharing. It's very, very important. We are only sharing knowledge. Not that I will come and be pouring and therefore everybody everywhere will be quiet and I will leave the class. But you are the one to do the talking. I am only there to guide you. So I want to thank you very much. So I myself, I was going to look at all these qualities that you expect from your facilitator, not your teacher now, to make sure that we make our classes better next time. And I want to say that if I don't call you, it's not because I know you or because I don't want to call you. Just because that when you have so many hands, I am a researcher, I will only sample. And if you are able to fall into my sampling space, then I will call you. Not that I really hate you, I don't want you. So we just, our time is gone, but I give you 5 minutes for general comments now before I make my final. Don't do anything. I give you 5 minutes for general comments now. Therefore, I will make my final comments. Then we end the meeting. Please, if you don't want to talk, put down your hand so that I will know those that are having final comments or general comments. If you don't have anything, put down your electronic hands, please, so that I will not be calling the wrong people. It's okay. Tahatu Abdullahi, what is your comment? Okay, here. Tahatu Abdullahi, what is your comment? Okay. Aziz Adewale, what is your comment, please? Can you see how people are
Hello?
just wasting our time? Yes.
Hello?
Hello, speak on.
Yeah, my name is Dashel.
Okay, you are the one that wanted to call the other time, yes?
Yes, yes, ma'am. Please, I want to know, is Friday the study time, our lectures every time for discussion?
Yes. Friday, 3 o'clock. Friday, 3 to 4. Every Friday, 3 to 4.
Okay.
Any other comments? Somebody wanted to talk the other time.
Yes, I'm raising my hand.
Okay, can you please talk? Somebody wanted to make a comment the other time. I stopped the person. I said it was a general comment. If you are still there, can you raise? Can you just
Yes,
unmute yourself?
I'm here, sir. It's Shakira at Bimbo.
Okay.
It was just on the forum. You said you were going to post that we're going to you're going to post for room 1 or something, and we're going to comment.
Thank you very much. I will do that. I will do that. You will see it.
Hello,
Any
sir.
other comments? Yes.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I have a comment here. It was speaking.
Yes.
Hello.
Okay, I want to start.
Wait, please,
sorry, I have a comment.
Mr. Otoban, wait. Yes.
I have a comment, sir.
Go ahead.
Okay, sir. So sorry, I got to understand that in Open University, questions are not repeated. Even when we're given past questions and we went through it, none of those ones came out. Is it how it is done, sir?
That is how it is done. Questions are not repeated.
Okay, not even one in any
Not
year.
even half. Not even half. So
was this your question?
Past questions, you didn't get
60, 70 questions. Not easy.
So, but if you see any past question, it may guide you as to how the level of reading and study. But let me tell you, in National Open University of Nigeria, don't expect, don't do permutation. Say, okay, this one came out first semester 2019. This one came out second semester 2019. Oh, it is this one 2018 semester 2 that they are going to bring out. Now, lie, you will not get it.
Okay.
Okay.
Hello, sir.
I want to thank you very much. Number one, listen to the following. Number one, as somebody reminded me, I'm going to post the discussion forum 1, so you are going to get it. Number 2, our facilitation Friday 3 p.m. and others joining. Number 3, we are going to module 2, unit 1, 2, and 3. Module 2, unit 1 and 3. That is our discussion. So I expect you now to go and read module 2, unit 1, and 1, 2, and 3. So if there is no any other comments,
There is a comment.
I want to ask any other comments.
Hello, sir.
Ask a question.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Comment.
Hello, sir.
Hello, sir.
I missed the last class. How can I get
Hello, sir.
a video?
Yes. Who is
Hello, sir.
Hand up for us. Final comments.
Yes, sir. Final comment,
Since
sir.
you are not allowing us again, I want to say bye-bye to you.
Hello, sir.
Hey. Same time. So module 2, unit 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye-bye, sir. Bye-bye, sir. Thank you.